and he was entitled to say this. That is why narcissists
Ridiculous.
make ridiculous statements to you. Why they are outlandish,
Just watching this now.
outrageous, crazy-making, unfounded, seemingly
HG.
batshit crazy comments.
Shit. I've got
You some outrageous comments that the narcissist has
an
made to
outrageous one for you
directed at you with regard to
from
behavior,
these narcs. Now this one is
the abilities of the narcissist or the achievements.
that I'm on about.
Let me know.
It does. After reading a lot of your work and understanding more about this field of, it's almost like an art form, isn't it? Narcissism. That you're occupied with, committed to, in a good way.
And so now, when we get together,
It's that guy, Fireman Sam,
when they start interfering,
and Shaky Stevens,
the amplitude gets way higher, way more.
Tom Jones.
And now,
Sidetrack. Check this out for a ridiculous statement, and I've got backup as well that this was said. But what astounds me really about this statement is that the person, honestly, I thought he was like joking, because he kind of like doesn't take anything seriously, really, He doesn't have to. So everything's a joke to him, including people's lives, other people, type of thing. And there's no care or consideration right across the board. And that includes his wife too, because whatever he made her do on that day, she had to quit her job the next day before she got sacked. Yeah. Because she's was a school teacher, so she actually resigned before getting the sack, and all because of that. Nice one, happy love day, good one for you. Getting your wife into shape there, and even making her fucking way outside the shop. Don't get me started on that. Check this out for a mad one, right? Ridiculous, this. As people know, a number of years ago, I was trying to get this person's attention to look at something that I was finding out in real time, linear, whatever, kind of discovering stuff. And he was kind of involved with it, skimming around, So, you obviously put some money up towards it. This is organised stuff. What's going on? Good times. So yeah, he was just like fucking around on this. So he did actually know more about this than anyone, to be honest with you, because I even mentioned this guy in the very first email communications with these people who abused me, online, as in psychologically abused me. I know it sounds a bit tame, but honestly, check back on these emails and they're rough. They really are. This ain't good, This ain't good, especially when you know that they knew that they were doing it, and that they're all part of the same operation, right? Please, I know you understand this, AJ. Anyway, so this being Loveday character, funny enough, it goes back in history a bit, as well, doesn't it? And there's so many other weird coincidences. I mean, it's just chock full. It's ridiculously just crammed to the fucking max with coincidences right the way through. I mean, you can't even step anywhere without onto a coincidence in this story. And people go, "Isn't that coincidence?" And they forget. But yeah, that's what people do. And it's definitely because of social media. Definitely. Because I reckon, give it 30 years ago, if this happened 20, 30 years ago, in the timeline, if it was happened 20 years before, people would have paid attention. They wouldn't, and there was this overall real lack of consideration from every single person. Everyone. I mean, this is right across the board. And so that was a bit of a shocker. But I dealt with that, but then it was down to people who actually did know that I was doing something pretty intense. You know, bringing these and these emails, I've got them all printed out, right? So, and I was sending them to this guy. He fully well knew what I was doing, and the build up to it as well. And I said, I'm gonna, bring these people. And he would. Funny thing is, even if he did read these emails and see blatantly that they were fiddling with someone's mind, he still wouldn't look at it like as if that's serious. He would still go like that and just laugh and not do anything. So it shows the limit of this creature of life. Anyway, this is ridiculous, this, right? You know, after trying to get him to look at these fucking emails that I printed out so many times, and he was either like, oh, I can't bother to read that now, or oh, I haven't got my glasses, or and it's like so fucking obvious now. I mean, it's like he fucking knew. There's no doubt about this. He even talks about this in Steve recorded him just going on and mentioning about this in 2017. Now he was mentioning like about agents and stuff and fucking Luhan and all these people. So he does know. He did know. Even if he would pass this off as, oh, it's just conspiracy. Tell his wife that though, and his kids. When they were seeing me going a bit mental, obviously trying to get this across to him. Look, the only person who can kind of understand this, fucking moron. And he was buzzing off that fact, yes, riding on that. This is definitely true. Anyway, he so after all this time I thought, fuck it, I'm just gonna fucking go live on YouTube and tell everyone. Little did I know that that's when it all really made sense. And so this person who just lives down there could actually have a bit of a jog on. Even a jog, I'd get there in 10 minutes. On a bike, 5 minutes probably. Just another. Anyway, I was just here at mine doing these videos, actually attacking these people online who were originally found out were messing around with people's minds. Yeah. I'm talking to HG, and I'm talking to other people as well. Now check this out. I haven't even got to the point yet. This ridiculous statement he said. I've just given you the prep, the build up to this moment where I was just so pissed off because I knew that he was the only one who kind of who could even recognise what was going on. And that was before even finding out all the mad Crowley links and shit like that. So honestly, this is was discovery all the time for me. And it, like I said, the coincidences or so-called coincidences, synchronicities were and are still thick and vivid, and just get thicker. The plot thickens like an old soup on the it's been left for a few days on the stove. You know, I haven't even got to that bit yet, have I? Right, this is what he said to me, right? Now, I went down there and I was just gonna fucking, because I knew that why isn't he paying attention to this? I'm fucking going live in David Icke's thing, you know, at least that's what I thought I was doing, on YouTube, and posting it on David Icke's fucking Google community. You know, at least, I mean, if David Icke's too busy to fucking look, at least some of his followers can have a look at this. And I bombed it for about a year. A big stream of progression and information drops under the crazy assumption that people would actually pay attention. But I noticed ever more when doing this that the responses were very similar to the way these sneaky people operate. In fact, really similar, identical, really sneaky. Well, you know, not that sneaky, actually really obvious to me that they're taking the piss. And to everyone else, obviously, they're just like, oh, yeah, what, nothing, yeah. You know, so they use all this weird, trippy, dark psychology, of which people do have to fucking know about. Because if you don't, if you purposefully do want to ignore, I'm talking to other people out there now, not talking to HG, talking to other people right across the world, if you do purposefully ignore this, then, especially if you know so much, the more you know about this, and the more you ignore it, that's the more you're ignoring actually looking at yourself. And, well, that equals the more fake you are. You're not authentic. I'm not talking to HG, I'm talking to other people now. There's no authenticity there. As stripped down and bare as this may be, like I said, I don't work from the script. They're not rehearsed. Anyway, what he said to me the other day, right? I went down there I wanted to fucking kill him, really. I did. Because he started to troll me as well. He was the one who actually knew more about this than anyone. Who could back this up? Who could back me up, at least acknowledge that this was a bit mad. It's been going on for years, this. You know, years, literally years, since 2012, 13. I'd kind of rumbled these. I definitely rumbled them by about 2013. Definitely. I was onto them. I knew that they were up to no good, but I didn't quite understand the full extent of this mind contrology thing. And that it was so heavily intertwined with this consciousness of what you speak of, HG. You know, that the N word. And yeah, it was like it's been embroiled with that. So if it wasn't the people who were actively involved with these strange groups of dark psychologists, then it was the kind of natural, the hardcore narcs of society which seemed to surround me, or were surrounding me anyway. Possibly because I might be an narc, or the opposite. I'm more fascinated by narcs, I've got to say. At this point, empathy, I don't know. I did say I was an empath, but I really don't care anymore. I don't give a shit. That's the reason why I'm building up to this day, you know, that when Loveday got his wife and him to freaking do that in the garden, and what's more, I've got to say, it still disturbs me. The reason why it built up to that, and the reason that no one did anything. That's what's freaky. That's what's fucked up. And tried to hush it away so quick. And of course, not understanding the reason why it built up to that point. Now, I know the reason why he gave his wife. This is really shallow. So I went down there, and because I wasn't looking at these, and she knew what I was on about. She half knew anyway. He was just like, oh yeah, don't listen to him, yeah, he's just a conspiracy for you. That's what he'd say, like, as soon as I'm out the door, like, you know what I mean? I'd be there like look, and you'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's like kind of interested in talking about fucking, then going on about Zappa and Doncroft and organising shit, like if you fucking was the main man in it, and then I'd be bringing this up, and he'd be like, it's total fucking divergence. Well, why are they? Fucking hell, this is like pretty heavy, and it's pretty good though, you know, they were finding this out. No, I can't be bothered. And it's definite, like, I'm like, you know, like, look, we're in the position to bust these people, yeah? You know what I mean? And read back on these emails, it's so fucking obvious. They really did blame shit. And I'm talking about these dark Scientologist people who I was onto in the first place, kind of unconsciously, then consciously, very much so for a good number of years before I even went vocal on it on YouTube. I'd already found everything out, you know, enough, well enough, more than enough to put this forward online, you know, and not the best of presenters, you know. It is just straight off the cuff, but this is was so important, and it still is in a way. I even got around to what he said. Right? So I went down to his house, right? And I was gonna fucking smash his fucking head in with my vape, a big copper vape. I sort of I rang him up as well, and I pulled I would run people up in the house. That thing there. Fucking bang that right into his fucking skull. Watch him go, I just laugh whilst I get arrested. That's what I felt like doing, yeah. So I went down there, fucking livid. Gotta say, I was. I mean, like, there's the and he was just like buzzing there. He was buzzing off the fact that I was like stressing out that he knew that he was purposefully holding some shit up. The progression of someone's mind and buzzing off it, right? The goblin that he is. That he's no fucking ultra, this guy. He's absolute goblin level, but thinks he's ultra. That's what's fucked up about this. That's what's really mad. That's what's like, I'm like, I can kind of like deal with narcs, you know what I mean? Like in the, doing a bit of music, the music industry's fucking chock full of them. So, you know what I mean? It's like, but this one, actually, he's not in the music industry, but he kind of hijacks shit. And he does. He's a fucking prick. Oh yeah, lovely. The anniversary, matey. A couple of days now. So I hope that someone out there has sent this to Loveday, because I know he doesn't watch this shit, and he purposely doesn't watch this. He's just unsubscribed. Plus he tells his wife that I'm all this and that, so she doesn't watch. And plus she's probably too ashamed anyway, to watch. Because she quickly forgot about that. She was the one that came through first of all and started punching me. And then he came after and poured the paint on me. And this was seen and clocked and noticed and reaffirmed by other people. And then she said that she was running after him to try and stop him. So she thinks that, and she does think that she was running after him to try and stop him. And that's fiction. That's fiction now. She came through first of all. First of all. And like, so punched me in the head whilst he came with the fucking paint. All because of the fact that he was the only one who could have listened or actually understood what was going on. As pathetic or petty or conspiracy-like as it may seem or have seemed, it was still an issue. And this person fully well knew that it was an issue of this other person, of which he could have aided in, and also with that, not just help the other person out, but kind of do large steps for humanity too. worldwide, well, not just worldwide, humanity, right? Now, this is important. This is what people have to understand, what has been held up and stalled in order for them to be, for the blame to be shifted onto cunts like these. Not HG, talking about fucking Loveday for one of them. And he's the worst one. He's the one who fucking... I mean, like I said, they all could have done something. But, you know, more than just ignore. Purposefully. Because it's less stressful. So, yeah, I mean, this is what it boils down to, and people don't realize, because they've not... It's not about watching stuff, it's getting up to date, up to speed with your fucking mentality, and these people are making themselves into idiots by simply enabling the bullshit to still half prevail. It kind of does. I mean, I know he does. He does. I kind of do know what he says. It ain't good, really. It ain't good, but considering what he did honestly hold up. And if people saw these emails, they'd realise the ones that tried to get him to see in the first place about these people, and he would have got these things more than me. I mean, I knew it was dodgy. I knew they were working on some word code and mad shit, but he would definitely have got them. He knows it's very easy. You're working very easy. It's no deep code. It's so fucking easy to see all the references and shit from these people that they kind of have to leave, I guess, because of what they're doing. They have to leave, but it's something to do with their code or something. They have to tell the person of whom they're psychologically abusing online, who has no idea that they're doing that. You know, they're in their sneaky ways thinking they've got control and doing all this. We're making them think this ha-ha type of thing. That's what these people were doing all the time. Anyway, I went down there. I was going to smash Loveday's head in, but I smashed the door in instead. And it was funny because he was there fucking whimpering and back, bring the police, bring the police, bring the police. Honestly, it was fucking funny. It was apparently. Sweeney was there, and Jackie was to witness this, and so his wife came to the so he told his wife and Jackie and Sweeney that it was because of jealousy, because of him going out with his wife, that I'd smashed the door. Now I'll have to rewrite this history, because that's not the case. So anyone who wants to believe, I mean, Loveday obviously believes that, yeah, and his wife, I guess she fucking wants to believe that too, even though she fucking fully well knows that's lies. It's like mad how people they know it's lies, but they just go along with it anyway, because fucking hell, because they know that they're so much of a liar, that they know that there's no other option except just to fucking carry on with this horrible pretense of not knowing what was going on. So I went down and smashed his fucking door in, because I was jealous of him and his fucking wife. And, yeah, that's what he told his kids for you. And it was like, 2 years later, I was there, and I mentioned it, and it was as if like she didn't know about it. It's like as if like it was all. I was just like piping on about like mad shit. Anyway, I've not got this ridiculous statement. Yeah, what he said to me. So after I smashed the door in now, right, it took me about a year. I said, I'm not thinking I'm gonna pay for the door. The window pane in the door was like some panels of glass smashed in the door, stained glass door, front door. I said, I'm not fucking doing it until you fucking look at these things, which I've been trying to fucking make you look at. for years, you dick. And because you're just going on about stuff which does not exist, and you're just being a retard because you just do not know this. And this is like involves you too. I'm talking to him like the other day, yeah? This involves you. Like, so these people must have known that this triggers people. You know what I mean? Like hardcore narcs and shit. They did get, not just Love Day, you know what I mean? But Love Day was the, he's the prime committed one, and he's the reason why I got involved with the forum anyway, because of the fucking Zapper, the Don Croft Zapper, which he asked me to get. Anyway, let's get to this ridiculous comment that he said. Well, a year later, I actually got round and I paid for half the door. It was 120 quid or something for the, and I went down. I paid 60 or 80 pound off, and regardless of what Loveday owes me for these web hosting things, which he forgets about talking about. Anyway, he was in France at the time, so I went down and I paid. I just, just kind of like, I thought his wife understood. Why went mad at her husband, because she knows he's a fucking cunt as well. All in a cunt, I know. And she's a fucking proper bitch. Talking about Loveday's wife now. Yeah, I can say that, yeah. Why not? You fucking punched me in the fucking head several times whilst your hubby poured paint over me. You sicko. Do you think I'm going to forget about it? This is for life. Lovey. This is for life. From now on. You get it? Now what Loveday said. Oh yeah, I paid his wife. I took down a bottle of wine. I was going to say a bunch of flowers then, but it was just a bottle of wine and some 60 quid, yeah? Just to kind of say, fair enough. Loveday was in France. Anyway, I was nipping it. I was going to, that was just dropping it off and stayed for a drink and then went on my merry way. Anyway, when Loveday found out about this on the phone call, he said, oh yeah, size been down round, pay your missus some of that money for the dough. And he went, oh, I'm ready. And he went, yeah. Anyway, and this is what Loveday said. He went, oh, fuck it up. I have to fucking get back and marry her now. And a week later he proposed, married a long-term partner. Now that's just funny enough, yeah? And this is what's mad, this is what, like, it's so blatantly obvious, but people think, oh, that's just Loveday, don't he? And that's what he was, a shallow fucker, isn't he? Right, but this is mad. This is how fucking really seriously shallow this is. When he came back, and everyone knows it's not nothing to do with that, right? And it's kind of deeper, yeah. It's got deeper meanings to the story than just fucking being jealous of someone's fucking wife. And when he came back, you know the first thing he said to me? And he was sitting in here, I think it was the night that I filmed him being a fucking goblin, when he just being normal. And he went, yeah, I'll get that. And he looked at me like, I'm like, good for you, man. About the time, eh? And he went, yeah, bet you're jealous, and I was like, oh, you kidding? You're joking, man. I thought he was like half joking, but he wasn't. So I was supposed to read about this. He wasn't joking, he thought. That's what he thought. That is ridiculous, man, to me. So he actually got his wife to do that. She came in first of all, committing crimes, touching people, or me, not in a good way whatsoever. I mean, it's much like child abuse, because I haven't got any kids myself. I'm someone's child at the end of the day. I've got mum and dad, yeah. And someone else's mum and dad. Who did that? Now, again, what I have to really comprehend here is the other people and their responses. And continuing responses because of the residual benefits of this person of whom they are enslaved by, unknowingly, to them, as much as they think they're not. They are. And it's so subtle, but it's so true, because this is how he thinks. I know. And I know that people don't care either. So there is no comprehension with this. I mean, he said some ridiculous shit, but he really meant that. So he came back and married her. What a shit fucking story. What did I say? Yeah, because it wasn't about that really. It was the fact that he was the only person who could have help explain, even because he's a total absolute drongo of a fucking goblin wimp, and he is. I mean, I'm not joking around. He's a fucking absolute wimpling of a man, of whom, just because of this, thinks he can, and he obviously can't. He doesn't, and he can't. He's a fucking scrote, and it obviously runs deeply in him, as in ancestry. Because from what I've heard anyway. You know what I mean? I've met his mum actually. Well, you quickly stopped me from taking her for a drive in the car, didn't you, Lindy? That was sneaky the way you did that. Because she was up for coming with me to the Trafford Centre. Well, I was going to give her a lift, didn't you? You soon fucking got fucking in there, didn't you? Oh yeah, you don't want to sign, give me a lift, fucking on drugs, yeah, or something like that, probably. To your mum, in order for her not to be alone in the car with me, giving her a simple lift to the Trafford Centre whilst your dad was in hospital with a broken hip from your wedding night. You can't say he wasn't. How was your dad, by the way, love day? How was his hip? And do you think I was going to stop then? It's not even the 11th yet, mate. So, inform your missus, or your wife, and maybe your kids too. Let them know how much of a cunt you are, and how much of a fucking cunt you show, and have shown everyone up to be. Not as much as you though, because you're a prime goblin-y cunt of a fucking scrope bag. Divergent. Downward syndrome style. Apps. Where can I go with this now? You ain't good, matey. You ain't good. You're not working in the right way, I say. And you constantly project this onto other people, that other people are not working in the proper way, and that you are. This is what's fucking wrong. Because if this person was mentally assessed, which he hasn't been, because he doesn't have to be, you know what I mean? Don't have to worry about shit all. Not that I'm jealous of this factor, but the guy actually loves to fucking keep people down because of this. And it does. No one around him. He'll keep tabs on everyone. Not to be in any way more successful than how he thinks he is. And this includes really talented people too. So, I think it does. No matter how much they think he's like a mascot or a funny amusement, or amusing, amuse factor character. He knows that he's destroying everything. But he's kind of done it in a good way as well. Because he's fucking giving out loads of truth as well. In a weird way, like these people do, like these fucking trollists. 35 minutes. Sorry, HG. Really gone on one there, man. But yeah, there's these statements, man. Just like, I'm astounded because that is literally what he thought. Even after all the evidence, so these people, like, I don't know what the fuck he is, man. There's no continuity with anything. Not even his own fiction. You know, there's no continuity with that even. So it's just all fractured and all over the place. It's not very well made. Bullshit. I mean, you can't bullshit over something you've left out. Like a massive big segment of a story that you purposely left out to people around you for whatever reason. You can't bullshit over that because you left it out. I'm not talking about it, I'm talking about in Love Day, because that's what he did, literally did. So in effect he's abusing people around him by keeping them on this bullshit string, which is total bullshit. If you freaking check these emails, I was talking about this cunt years ago, well before 2015 even. I was pissed off with him because of his mentality. I could sense the destructiveness then, and I would say it to his face, you know. And I was under the fucking weird, misguided assumption that all people seem to go through with these types, that they would somehow refine themselves, get better, but he didn't. He just got worse and more seemingly targeted to a consciousness of which I was becoming aware of, this greater consciousness, I've got to say, more ultra, more encompassing and wholesome consciousness, rather than this one he bases stuff on, which is total paranoia, fear. He's just a fucking absolute. He's a stepped-on cockroach that thinks there's got a fucking mad bellow on him, that he's just can bellow over all the people. I don't know how he booms that sound out of his fucking mad frame he's got. I'm not like Hercules or anything like that, but he's got a fucking mad shape on him, especially with the noise he makes. It's fucking loud. It's like a fucking orange amp. I'm full. Yeah, I'm half full. Gotta go now. Oh, I made myself giddy walking out there. Anyway, HG, hope you're alright. And there's more to come on this one, because it is amusing, you know. Like I said, it goes past the point of being horrified or shocked. Yeah, it's a step beyond of any of that, really. Because the blatantness of this, it's fucking ridiculous, man. And it's also ridiculous how people do honestly choose to ignore it the more they know. And they must know who they are. Because this, like I said, is all going down the pipeline. They've not checked anything out. Not on my stuff, though. Of what I kind of been saying maybe should be paid more attention to. Of this type of consciousness which seems to be so prolific in people. Of who feel entitled to do that. Whether they be in a cult or not. Oh shit. Right, back to my script.